Adults respond to hints. Anyone in their adult state responds to hints. That's what you can do with kids if you can keep them in their adult state. Now, deeps are never in their adult state because they don't have one to work with, unfortunately. They are self-hating. So they are not going to do this so easily. So they will do it for different reasons. They won't actually understand what's going on. They'll just feel good about the control aspects. I think. That's why I didn't understand why they did it at all. Who can give me a hint in words, under 10 words, and I will figure out what the problem is? Yeah, go on.
Can you read my mind?
Okay, that's what you'll call a general hint.
So it's off-task behaviour, something like that.
Okay. The implication is that when you say that there's a problem, you must have explained that a bit to me initially.
Not really. I just
Did that kind of guide?
And say, can you read my mind? They know they're doing the wrong.
Okay, that's good. That's good. That's what's called a general hint, meaning it's not specified about a particular behaviour even. And you'll see in the list I've got general hints. Right now, someone's being unreasonable. That's a general hint. Okay, somebody else, yes. Are you listening with your whole body? Meaning, I'm aware that some people aren't focused.
In some way.
Yeah.
We had a sign with yoga, and he's got high heels.
What year level? Primary, yeah. So, in other words, focus physically and every which way. Visually.
So when you say I use your whole body, they check that, am I touching somebody else?
Yep. That's a hint. So, and it's understood as a hint. You're not telling which kid to do what. You're just saying, are you doing the right thing? So it'd be like me saying, are you doing the right thing? Yep.
Have you made a good choice of work partners?
Yep. Have you made a good choice? Yep. Problem being some people haven't, obviously. What else?
I like the way you put your hand up, Raymond.
Okay, so now you're moving into more control than hinting, because what you're doing is you're assuming that I will respond, or the others will respond to your comment to me. So for them it's a hint that if you want to get recognised, do what that this person's doing, yeah. And that is a bit more like reinforcing incompatible behaviour. So it stretches a little bit from hinting, and it still is a hint to them. The implication is if you want to get recognised, do what that kid's doing. Yeah, but it's not just describing the situation, is it? It would be, if I was describing the situation, I'd be saying some people have remembered to put their hand up. Because that's what I see. Or most people have, or some people have forgotten. The interesting thing here is men usually go to the negative, and women normally go for the positive. It's really fascinating. I don't know what that means. But men, when they do hint, they hint about the negative aspect of it, and women often hint about. So if I said, 80% of you are focused, men would often say 20% aren't with us yet. It's just interesting. Yeah.
I've got 8 students in that their moral purpose is that they want the class to work well, and they are into helping others to do the right thing, but they're language disordered. So I'm struggling with finding a hint that doesn't require them to infer anything, because they can't do that.
Yeah, and that's why I say the visual stuff. It's going to be easier.
So I don't have to explain visual stuff.
Yeah.
Because the visual stuff, and then
Yeah. You'd identify your key behaviours, you'd explain what these signs mean in terms of those behaviours and why it's a problem.
yeah.
So I could say some people are speaking, others can't hear, this is what this sign means. So when I hold up this sign, you will understand it means that I'm concerned some people are speaking, others can't hear. Yeah.
But can you read my mind?
Oh yeah, no, but that I can imagine doing that in physics. In year 11 easy, or year 10 or even year 8. Because it's almost implicit that why would I share this with you unless there was a problem? So, and it depends on how they understand the teacher. If you take this further, you can go to the next stage where you state your feelings, because you're playing with relationships, right? So if you add you're disappointed, or you're shocked, or you're appalled, or you're confused or curious, or something, in other words, it's a distancing kind of word, or you're delighted, women will do that, you're delighted, you're excited by, and so it depends how you use the language, but it's going to have a feeling component. So now it's not some people are speaking and others can't hear, it's I'm disappointed that some people are speaking and others can't hear. Or I'm delighted that most people are listening while others are speaking. which way you put it, but you put that in there because you're playing with the relationship. You're playing with people who can believe they are likeable, who will have a relationship with you, will not want to jeopardise it. So you strengthen your message by adding in that relationship component. And then if you want to go a bit further, you can even bring in some logical stuff and say, some people are speaking, I'm disappointed some people are speaking, others can't hear. We agreed everyone should be able to do their maximum. But now I'm over 10 words. And I can never get under 10 words anyhow. So if there was some clever way of shortening these sentences that you got on that page, email me, will you? Because even in the book I couldn't shorten them. That's I gave them to some primaries, but they couldn't help me much. That's on page 9, okay? There's got to be a clever way of shortening these statements. Now, so far we've only hinted about personal responsibility. I have not yet hinted about communal. Is anyone capable of stating a hint that has those, I don't care how many words you use, those 3 things in it, but it's communal? It's not aimed at the kid who's doing the wrong thing. It's aimed at 6 kids sitting around that kid who could deal with it. Yeah. Okay, so you're the communal element. Okay, that's more relationship power than... do you have a right to concentrate? Possibly, I don't know. So how would you build it into that? I'm feeling unhappy because I'm having trouble concentrating with the noise, and I don't know where that would go. That's a direction already. Yeah, you can, and you'll do that next. Don't worry, that's already a direction. That's telling people what to do, and you will do that next. If this doesn't work, the very next thing you do is pull in that leash. Because if you don't, they'll ignore you. And it'll just be chaos. They'll see you as some sort of wimp. You know? Some men can't stand that about women. They don't tell you what they want. They tell you there's a problem, you know, and instead of telling you what they want you to do, they'll just say, you know, it's very frustrating when this and this and this happens. You think, okay, so what do you want, you know? And I've heard my wife's a psych, so my kids frequently, especially the boys, will say to her, you've got no right to get angry at us when we don't do it because you didn't even say what to do, right? And yet she wants them to figure it out. She's trying to make them responsible. That's her style. So you've got all the time in the world after you hint to draw in that leash.
What about something like, I'm disappointed that some people have got started, but people see next to them haven't even opened their books yet. And we agree with help each other.
Ah, that's good. The last bit saved the day. Say it again. Say it again. I think you've got it. Aloud as much.
Okay, so
you're disappointed that.
No, some people have got started when people see next to them haven't even opened their books yet, and we agree with help each other. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it. Okay, somebody else try one. Because really you should write down 8 behaviours that are going to occur tomorrow, write down 8 hints you can use, and just go home and practice. That's what they did in the tapes. Because if you're dealing with when I was head of school for 2 years, that's all I ever did was hint. Because I was dealing with adults. Well, I was supposed to be adults, I wish they were. If people were adults, you know, I discovered in management, I've never been in management, because I've avoided it for my entire career until we ran out of heads of school and I had to do it. So what happened was if people would function normally, you'd have another 3 days in your week. But because people don't actually function that normally, they're not in their adult enough, you've got a lot of things you've got to deal with, and you can't tell adults what to do because they resent it, right? And you wouldn't do it anyhow. So you've got to be really good at hinting. And it's a really powerful thing for dealing with adults. So, at the back you had one. Who was it?
Often when a student is trying to explain something and other people are talking, I'll say, I'm really sorry, I can't hear, and oh, hang on, sorry, I can't hear, and those around you can't hear, because these guys are talking, so let's just wait for them to be quiet. Okay, well that's stronger than a hint, but it is partly a hint. Had you said, I cannot be heard, I'm concerned because I cannot be heard because of the talking, and I'm worried that people won't know what they're doing, and we said they should be able to